Well, hey folks, how's it going today? Hope you're all doing really good. Well, a guy dropped this off a couple days ago. Wanted me to take a look at it, and it's got a fret buzz somewhere. So we got to take a look at that and see what else we were up against. So what we have here is a Squire Bullet by Fender. Looks like some sort of lock-in system maybe was on there at some point. It does have a Kahler trim on it. Kind of interesting. So we're going to just dig a little deeper on it. 2 pickups, got a volume and a tone, and I believe this would be a 3-way, yeah. So we was kind of checking into these. Now, some of these were made in Japan. Somebody scraped something off under the Squire logo. I'm not sure why they would do that, but the made in Japan ones are actually very nice guitars. It's got a nice neck profile on it. I believe these tuners, I don't know if they're original or not. They look like Kluson style, kind of different. Maybe some of you guys know. It's in pretty decent shape. I mean, it's got some wear and some scratches and some dings, you know, the usual stuff. So what we're going to do now is take her right on the bench, and we're going to get the fret rocker out, see which frets are high, or if that's the case with the string buzz. Okay, so here we go. All right, well, this will tell the story right here. Well, so far, so... Oh, got a high one right there. 3rd fret. Another one, yeah. It's kind of high from there up. That one's very, very tall. Yeah, these are all kind of out of whack. Another high one. So what we'll have to end up doing is probably loosening the strings up and see if I can pound those down. If I can, great. If I can't, then we'll have to level them. Now, yeah, that one's high. Starting to get worse up here. This seemed to be where the buzz was the worst. That one don't feel too bad, but I'll bring you guys down where the action is here. Alright, so not too bad. And we got one right there. Pretty high. That one's high. That one's very high in the middle. And that's about where the buzz seemed to be the worst. That's very high. Another really high one there. I'm going to switch my... Now you gotta just make sure you check them all the way across, out towards the edges. Sometimes the end can just be lifted. Okay, another high one. So what I'm probably going to do is just level these. I'll pound them down first and see what happens, and then we'll kind of go from there. If they don't go down well, then we'll have to level them. Now, they're worn pretty good. I don't know if you guys can actually see that, but pretty good divot right there. So it would probably be worth it to level and crown these again, because they are worn pretty good up through here, and that might be attributing to some of the buzz. So The next move is to loosen the strings up and get the sanding beam out and start leveling these and checking them with a fret rocker as you go. After you get them leveled, then you recrown them and then polish them multiple times and make sure there's nothing sharp on the edges, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to get the strings loose and we'll start the madness. Okay, so the next move, I'm going to take my fret hammer here and I'm going to try to drive these all down. I'm going to go right across the whole fretboard here. And I'm just going to give you a quick demonstration of how I do it, and I'll save you the awful noise of the hammer pounding in the video. So I usually just give it like 4 or 5 cracks. I start on one end, like 5 hits, just like that. I do that to every one of them, and then I'll check it again with a fret rocker and see if it helped. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to probably just re-level them anyway. So, but we want to make sure they're down good and solid before we start sanding on them. Sometimes you can sand on a fret. It'll go down while you're sanding, but it pops back up and then it will rock with a fret rocker. Pretty soon you don't have any fret wire left, and you're going to have to replace it. Been there and done that. Okay, so let's get right to it. Okay, let's see how we did. I hit them all, went over them twice just to make sure. I wanted to add, I got my little string holder here, and I just loosen the strings up so I can get them out of the way and I don't have to take them off. Just saves me a step. So they're still up. A little bit. It did help some though. I think it drove some of them down quite a bit. Now it's worth trying that because you don't want to sand any more of the fret than you need to. So if you can drive them down a little bit more, it's going to save you from sanding a lot of wear off that fret. So those aren't too bad. I think we're still going to have to level them. Just an easy leveling though, and then I'll recrown them. There is quite a bit of wear up here. You can see the fret wire is pretty worn, so that can definitely mess with your string bars, especially like if it's worn here and it's not in the next one. You see what I mean? And that can happen. And then you know, if you're playing a lot in the same position, you wear those out. These ones will still be high. You can see they are worn though in some spots, so it wasn't just all first position, but that seems to be the telltale first position wear marks. So in any case, they are worn, and really get rid of the buzz is probably going to just be to re-level these, and like I said, I'll just crown them and polish them up, and they'll be good to go, at least for another round. I think the next time I'd think possibly about refretting it. I'm not going to try to get all these marks out, but I'm just going to try to make it so they won't buzz, and you know, it'll still feel kind of broke in anyway. Okay, so here we go. Alright, well, I got the sanding beam out, and we're just going to start very lightly, one end to the other. I'm just going to work in one area here, pretty much to the 12th fret, and then I'll start like from the 12th fret and go towards the nut. So I'm just going to work on this little section right here. Another thing I like to do is go in this direction with it, and that takes a lot of the scratch marks out of the fret from going this way. But this way removes it a lot quicker. But I find that if I do this, it saves me a lot of work recrowning, and I can see the tops of the frets are shiny already. So then I'm going to set back here and start on this 12th fret area, and I'm going about to the 5th fret here. Same thing, I'm just going to work on that section I can hear kind of a clickety-clack sound like that. That tells me there's a high fret behind me. So I'm just going to kind of buff my way into that as well. Okay, same thing. We're just going to go back and forth and so on. All right. So that's pretty much my process to re-leveling some of these. Now they feel better already. Still got a little bit of a divot, but nothing too serious. So I'll continue working on this end, and then we're just going to probably re-crown them and polish them. I can demonstrate that as well. I've done this in a ton of videos already, but since you're watching it, I'll go through it real quick. Okay, I'm just using an inexpensive crowning file here. It's two-sided. One side's a little bit bigger than the other, so you got to figure out which side is the best side. Now I like it so it's touching the top of the fret and taking that area off each side of it to add that crown. Now usually you can tell if you put the other side on, it doesn't really take anything off the top of the fret. It just kind of works on the very bottom. So I'm going to get right to it here, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to run this side. Now when I do this, I don't really count the strokes or anything because every fret's different. What I do though is I just keep going until I don't feel any resistance or any bumps. And when it starts to feel smooth, you're good to go. You'll feel these little bumps and kind of resistance when you first do it. Now just keep going until it's nice and smooth, and I can see it's already crowned the top. Now I'm going to take a 1000 grit micro mesh pad, and I'm just going to lightly touch the top of this. And what I'm looking for here is to take out the striations from the crowning file. So I'll work that nice and slow. I try to span 3 frets with this when I do it, and I put 3 fingers right on it so it's equal pressure, and it works good for me at least. Now after I get that done, what I'll do is take a fret eraser. I'll dig those out right now and demonstrate that as well, and that will be pretty much the end of the process. Okay, here we go. That's what we're talking about. Now what these are is just it's like an eraser, okay, but there's different grit in each one. Now same thing, I try to span a bunch of frets when I do this, and just a back and forth motion. That takes the final striations from the micro mesh pad, and that's it. Once you get done, I can see this shiny already on the tops where I just hit those, like down and through here, see? And you want them nice and shiny. Put some magnifying glasses on or whatever you have to do so you can make sure there's no scratches on them. Check them with your fret rocker before you do this process. Make sure they're all level. Once they're level, then you can go through the crowning and polishing. And the final stage, like I said, is fret eraser usually for me. And that's it. And it feels so good to play after you do this. The strings bend nice, and it just feels a lot easier to play. I think they even sound better personally. You get more ring and sustain out of it. So that's the process I use, folks. I really appreciate you checking out my video. We're going to do some more research on this guitar too. The owner said he was told these were custom shop pickups in this. Kind of a different pole pattern. The 2 middle poles stick up and the other ones are kind of flush. A little different. So we may even take the pick guard off it and check it out. But he said it sounded really great, and that's really all that matters anyway. I don't care what they say on them, and I don't think he does either, but it could be. Somebody did modify this guitar, there's no question. So kind of an interesting little piece. Like I said, it does have a nice neck on it. It feels really good to play. And, you know, I think somebody put a locker on there or something at some point. And who knows? It's an interesting little piece, that's for sure. All right, folks. Well, thanks again for watching. I hope this info helps you out. Good luck on your fret work, and just take your time. That's the main thing. All right, we'll see you guys real soon. Be good. Okie doke.